Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. This is our Retro Restorations episode where we take the time machine back in time and look at our past restorations that I did before I started the YouTube channel. So this week is going to be another crawler that I did. It's a 1952 John Deere MC crawler, and yeah, pretty cool little machine. Got it from my buddy Pat, who I've gotten a few crawlers from. So sit back, relax, and let's see what this tractor's all about. So this is the day I went down to pick up the 1952 MC crawler from my buddy Pat down in North Carolina. He lives about 4 hours away, and I got this on March 12th of 2021. I owned this MC crawler for a little over a year. I ended up selling it in May of 2022. But this is basically it down at Pat's house. There's just a few different shots here. At some point this tractor had been painted. I don't remember if Pat had done it or not, but it was actually already in pretty good shape. But because I'm OCD, I had to go through the whole thing and basically clean up a few loose areas and get it repainted again, new decals. Here's a picture of I believe a 420 crawler that Pat has. He's got some other really nice equipment there. In this shot behind the MC, you can actually see a Lindemann crawler in the background. If you look at the front nose area of this crawler, you can see the Lindemann in the back. And that Lindemann crawler, I'll see if I can find a picture on the internet and shove it in here, but if not, you can Google it. There's a black and white photo of Jesse Lindemann sitting on a Lindemann crawler, and that is the specific crawler. So I thought that was pretty cool to be able to see that in person. Here's just an overall shot. He's got a John Deere B and A. I think that's maybe a 1010 or I think it's a 440 crawler with the 3-point there. It's got a lot of nice stuff. Pat's a great guy. I've bought several crawlers from him. This MC, my Lindemann. I think that's a 440 loader that he's got there that he's getting a blade for me. In this picture here, I've got it loaded on my old trailer with one blade on the front, and he's got the second blade coming. Kind of just used the best parts from both of them. And if you look to the right side of the picture, under that little metal covering, he's got a John Deere 430 crawler that he's been working on for a while. So hopefully he'll be done with that soon. And here's the trailer all loaded up, ready to head on home. So here's a quick video of me getting home and unloading the MC for the first time. Here it is in the driveway. You can see in the garage I still have my John Deere 950 diesel loader. I loved that tractor. Here it is with the blade put on. And just a quick video of the blade in operation. You can see the hydraulics in this one are part of the undercarriage track assembly. They're not hydraulic cylinders like you would typically have on if you look back at my 430 videos. So these ones here are almost like rock shafts that you would use for a 3-point, but there's one on each side for the hydraulic actuation, raising and lowering the blade. Kind of an interesting design. Here it is in the garage. This is a picture of me I got a trophy. I brought it down to one of our local tractor shows at the Albemarle Antique Power Association show that we had at Kent Gardner's place. So it was always fun to bring some stuff down there. So the cutting edge of the blade was in pretty bad shape, so I removed it and bought a new cutting edge. Now this isn't a dozer blade cutting edge, it was a cutting edge for a bucket tractor. And because it's hardened steel and just really hard to drill through, I had taken measurements and marked it out, and I brought it into a local facility to have those bolt holes water jetted. And it was definitely worth the cost and efforts because it came out really good and saved me a lot of time and cursing and sharpening drill bits. And I ended up using the rounded over, basically a carriage bolt. I thought it looked a little more original. Here it is installed. So I had a nice flat, smooth cutting edge put on. So here it is at the start of the restoration. Obviously I brought it back over to the side of my house, removed the track assemblies. Now this tractor was in running condition from Pat. I believe everything was working with steering, clutches and stuff. I may have removed, for some reason I want to say I removed the left final drive to replace some bearings, but I don't have any photos of that. But this is just me kind of taking the track assemblies apart. This picture here, I got a Farmall A, so I do have some appreciation for the red tractors as well. It's funny that I see this picture here because I sold this Farmall A to my buddy Brian. He had it for a short time and he sold it to someone else. And this was years ago, right? So this is like 2021. So here we are in 2025. I guess about a month or two ago, he actually bought this Farmall A back from the person he sold it to. And he's actually going to use, I believe, parts from it. It's a running driving tractor, but parts from it to get his Farmall A forklift put back together, you know, kind of the best of both. So there's videos on that forklift as well. If you search through my channel, you'll see those. So here's kind of how I stripped the MC down. I didn't take everything apart. I didn't have to go through the engine or transmission or anything. Like I said, I do believe I removed the left final drive to do bearings, but no photo documentation of that. So this is just me spraying everything green. And we go right to having it complete. So I didn't really document this one that well. I had done enough crawlers over the time that I didn't feel I needed to. But this is just kind of the finished product. So, and I obviously finished the crawler first, and then the blade I ended up finishing up a few weeks after that. So here it is in the garage with the blade painted and back installed again with the lights on. So it's a pretty cool little machine. The only thing that I really don't like about these MC crawlers is the undercarriage is a 3-roller. So you can see the nose kind of sticks out a little bit further than the front idler wheels. And that blade's rather heavy. So whenever you lift that blade, it tends to make the front end of the tractor nose dive down a bit, which isn't really a big deal, but it was just one thing that I didn't really care for. Here it is loaded up on my trailer. This is early in the morning. I believe that was October time frame, going down to the Belvedere show in Belvedere, North Carolina. And here it is down there at the show. And I've got a quick video here. That Belvedere Day show, we like to do the Tractor Club, Albemarle Antique Power Association. So this video here is just a barrel race kind of thing. So you have to push the barrel around the cones and then push it back again. Alright, so this first picture here is the trifecta, if you will, of the M Series John Deere tractors. Obviously you see Sweaty Betty there. She's a John Deere model MT. T is in tricycle. Then the crawler is the MC. The C is for crawler. And then the one in the foreground here is just the John Deere M. And that's the wide front tractor. And this one had the snowplow blade for the front. So at one point I had all three of the M Series tractors, which was kind of cool. And here's the Three Musketeers, if you will, parked out in the driveway. The body and the seat and transmission is the same for all of them. The only difference is one has tracks, one has a tricycle front end, and one has the wide front. So it's kind of neat how John Deere made those really pretty versatile for different applications. Snow in Virginia Beach. This is not something we normally get, and man, I had a blast out here pushing snow around with the crawler. So here's a few pictures and a couple of videos. Alright, winter's over, it's back in the garage. Some of these are going to be a little bit out of order, but you can see in this picture here the first shot of the 3 crawlers. So at one point I had the green MC crawler. In the background you can see a John Deere 420, and then to the left you can see the freshly painted front left idler of my John Deere 40. Got a few other pictures coming up here where you'll be able to see all 3 of those. Here's the MC in the front yard. My wife loves it when I park crawlers on the grass. Alright, here's the John Deere 40, yellow one, that's parked next to the MC. And the reason I had said earlier these are kind of out of order is here obviously you see it finished and restored, and as we go a little further you'll see it getting offloaded off the flatbed and how bad of condition it was. So just remember this yellow crawler right now. I know this is the Retro Resto of the MC, and I did one on the 40, so if you haven't checked it, go back and check that one too. I'll try to put a link up here in the top right corner. But alright, and here's the 3 of them together. The 420 I never restored. I owned it for a short amount of time. There is a quick glimpse of it in a video coming up here, but it was a narrow front, or it was a narrow tractor, meaning the undercarriage was basically turned in, the rear sprocket was turned and cupped to the inside, and John Deere on its crawlers, the MCs, the 40s, the 420s, offered 3 different pad width sizes. They had a 10-inch, a 12-inch, and a 14-inch. The MC has the 12-inch. The 40, which is in the middle, the one that's restored, is kind of hard to see. Those were the wider 14-inch. And then the 420 in the background has the narrow 10-inch. So that 420 having the narrow 10-inch pads plus the undercarriage being set on the narrow setting, I want to say it was 3.5 foot wide. That crawler was pretty cool. And it had a 3-point hitch, which is super rare for these crawlers. Definitely one that I wish I did not sell. Here's the 3 of them again in the garage. And just going to be a little video of the crawler going down the street, doing a little walkthrough, the Ghost Rider on it. And this is just a nice little video that shows the MC, the 420 out in the driveway, and the 40 when it's in the garage while I was painting it. And just a few more shots. Here's a photo of the MC in the front yard, and on that flatbed is the John Deere 40 when I picked it up. So that's the one that ended up getting restored into that old construction yellow color, but this is what it looked like. Everything was locked up. The engine, the transmission, the tracks, it was a train wreck. But there is a retro restorations on that crawler, so if you want, go back and check it out. It's pretty interesting. It probably one of the best transformations I've ever made on a restoration, from going to what should have gone to scrap into what was really one of the nicest tractors I had. Here's the MC and the 40 in the garage while I was taking the 40 apart. And here is its last day with me. This was May 28th of 2022. I've got the MC loaded up. I sold it to a really good friend of mine, Duck. He's a sheriff up in Dinwiddie County, and he had always wanted a crawler for, he's got a couple of different parcels of land, plus he wanted one for the local parades up there. So here's Duck on delivery day, driving his newly acquired MC crawler. Alright everybody, hopefully you enjoyed that episode of Retro Restorations with the 1952 John Deere MC crawler. Pretty cool machine. I'm glad it resides at its current home with my buddy Duck. It's in good hands. So see you next Wednesday for the next episode of Retro Restorations, and every Saturday for our normal videos.